Yesterday, we started to read this sutta, the graduated training, where the Buddha gives an analogy, a simile of that big bull elephant. We stop at number 11, where the Buddha explains a very common description of the Tathagata. Also ends with teaching. He teaches the Dharma that is good in the beginning, the middle, and the end, with right meaning and expression. Reveals a holy life that is perfectly complete and purified. 12. A householder or householder son of one born in some other clan hears the Dharma. On hearing the Dharma, he acquires faith in the Tathagata. Possessing that faith, he considers thus: household life is crowded and dusty. Life gone forth is wide open. It is not easy, while living in a home, to lead the spiritual life utterly perfect and pure as a polished shell. Suppose I shave off my hair and beard, put on the ochre robe, and go forth from the household life into homelessness, on a later occasion abandoning a small or large fortune, a small or large circle of relatives. He shaves off his hair and beard, puts on the ochre robe, and goes forth from the household life into homelessness. This is always the first step. Once one has acquired enough faith, here, this line, when one has acquired enough faith, the thought of going forth, the thought of ordaining arises at one's mind. He considers thus this thought of going forth. Perhaps this thought also occasionally, time to time, probably appears in our mind as well. But our faith is not enough until we actually take next step. We stop at what I highlighted in the orange. Only came up, but we never take the step. On a later occasion, abandoning a small and large fortune, one actually take the step eventually. When the faith has crossed a certain threshold, then you will shave your head, put on the robe, give away all your fortune. Sister Saikia, would you like to continue?
13. Having thus gone forth and possessing the monk's training and way of life, abandoning the destruction of life, he abstains from the destruction of life, with rod and weapon laid aside, conscientious, merciful, he dwells compassionate to all living beings. Abandoning the taking of what is not given, he abstains from taking what is not given, taking only what is given, expecting only what is given. By not stealing, he dwells in purity. Abandoning sexual relations, he observes celibacy, living apart, refraining from the coarse practice of sexual intercourse. Abandoning false speech, he abstains from false speech. He speaks truth, adheres to truth, is trustworthy and reliable, one who is no deceiver of the world. Abandoning malicious speech, he abstains from malicious speech. He does not repeat elsewhere what he has heard here in order to divide those people from these, nor does he repeat to these people what he has heard elsewhere in order to divide these people from those. Thus, he is one who reunites those who are divided. a promoter of friendships, who enjoys concord, rejoices in concord, delights in concord, a speaker of words that promote concord, abandoning harsh speech. He abstains from harsh speech. He speaks such words as are gentle, pleasing to the ear, and livable, as go to the heart, are courteous, desired by many, and agreeable to many. Abandoning idle chatter, he abstains from idle chatter. He speaks at the right time, speaks what is fact, speaks on what is good, speaks on the Dharma and the discipline. At the right time, he speaks such words as are worth recording, reasonable, moderate, and beneficial. Thank you.
Thanks, Sister Chai Kim. Okay, so this is basically descriptions of the monk's training and way of life. Firstly, abstaining from killing. Let's highlight one by one. Second, abstaining from stealing. Third one, abstaining from any sexual activity. He observes celibacy. The third one, abandoning false speech. Wait, this was okay. First, second, third, fourth. False speech is fourth. Malicious speech, fifth one. The next one, harsh speech. Yeah, there's 7. And here, next one is idle chatter, 8. Did I miss anything? After
Should be 7 total.
7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, second is correct. 7, which second has read so far. Sister Shawmei, would you like to continue?
He abstains from injuring seeds and plants. He eats only 1 meal a day, abstaining from eating at night and outside the proper time. He abstains from dancing, singing, music, and unsuitable shows. He abstains from wearing garlands, smartening himself with scent, and embellishing himself with unguents. He abstains from high and large cultures. He abstains from accepting gold and silver. He abstains from accepting raw grain. He abstains from accepting raw meat. He abstains from accepting women and girls. He abstains from accepting men and women slaves. He abstains from accepting goats and sheep. He abstains from accepting fowl and pigs. He abstains from accepting elephants, cattle, horses, and mares. He abstains from accepting fields and land. He abstains from going on errands and running messages. He abstains from buying and selling. He abstains from false weights, false metals, and false measures. He abstains from accepting bribes, deceiving, defrauding, and trickery. He abstains from wounding, murdering, binding, brigandage, plunder, and violence.
Thanks, Sister Shawmei. Footnotes number 10. See page 436 from chapter 5, note 19. Okay, let's take a look actually. Chapter 5, note 19. So pretty early. Okay, here note 19 is a bit small, but I will read it out. The proper time for meals, according to the monastic and Uposatha precepts, is between daybreak and noon. From noon on, solid foods, as well as certain nourishing liquids, such as milk, cannot be consumed. Fruit juices, soft drinks, tea, herbal teas, and other light drinks are allowed. Okay, let's go back. So this is yet another list of what a monk should abstain from. From abstaining from injuring seeds and plants, all the way to abstaining from wounding, murdering, binding, brigandage, plunder, and violence. A list of things that a monk should not do.
Sorry,
Yes.
can I ask why abstaining from accepting uncooked grains, is it? Yeah.
That one is uncooked grains.
No, accepting raw grain.
Is it the first one, injuring seeds and plants? Raw
After
meat.
raw grain, yeah. Raw grain before that.
Before it abstains from accepting raw grain. It's a good question. Does anyone have answer?
I have no answer, but I think basically in the Buddha's time, they don't cook. So when they go for alms, they just accept whatever that whoever that offer the food, they just accept it. So I think if you accept raw grain, then probably you have a chance to go and cook your own meal. That is my thought.
Perhaps we can clarify this with the monastic, those who are more familiar with the rules, or we can also research afterwards. But that's a good question. Thanks, Sister Shwami.
In fact, I also have the first line already caught my attention. He abstains from injuring seeds and plants. Like, whoa, even seeds and plants. That means they cannot pluck plants, I guess.
Yeah, actually they are not supposed to plant plants. Yeah.
Is it because of the hurting of animals on the plants?
Probably one of the reasons.
Then on Sister Shomin's question, right? I only guess, I also don't have answer, right? Because if we read from the relating line, he abstained from accepting gold and silver. He abstained from accepting raw grain. He abstained from accepting raw meat. Seems to suggest there's some value. Probably in the ancient days, maybe some raw grain is very expensive, or so he not supposed to accept that, like gold, silver, raw meat are also high value stuff. My guess, pure guess.
The first line from injuring seeds and plants, I've heard two main reasons. The first one, like Sister Saiken mentioned, when the monastics meddle with the agricultural stuff, planting and harvesting, there's a lot of animals that could be harms. For example, worms, all the pests, all the, let's say, rats and bees, all these small animals. If you start to cultivate the land, you will inevitably harm all these animals. And second reason, I read that there is a story that some spiritual beings, no, not spiritual beings, but beings of other realms, they actually occupy some of the plants or the trees. So there's a one time a monk cut the trees or something, or injured the plants, so to speak, and this being is very upset, and then he complained to the Buddha, and that's why the Buddha set these rules: don't injure, don't touch anything with regards to seeds and plants. That's one. And there's another reason I heard from some people, that the monastics actually don't eat fruits that have seeds inside it. For example, papaya, because the seeds, they say, or at least the tradition mentioned that the seeds are actually alive somehow. Yeah. I don't know why, but probably it's just a tradition back then from the India's times. So that's from what I know. Maybe afterwards we can research further or ask a monastic if there's an opportunity. But thanks for the question, Sister Shomi and Sister Billy. Okay, anything else? That, any lines that confuse us, please bring it out. And then we can either discuss or research afterwards. You might say this could be strange. Abstain from accepting women and girls. But we have to, the Buddha has to spell it out, make sure the monastics don't do it. But nowadays, you will be surprised what the monastics are doing. Okay, anyway, let's continue the reading. Sister IQ, would you like to continue?
Okay, 14. He becomes content with ropes to protect his body and with arms foot to maintain his stomach. And wherever he goes, he sets out taking only this with him, just as a bird, wherever it goes, flies with its wings at its only burden. So too, the monk becomes content with ropes to protect his body, with arms foot to maintain his stomach. And wherever he goes, he sets out, taking only this with him. Possessing this aggregate of noble moral discipline, he experiences within himself the bliss of blamelessness.
Thanks, Sister IQ. So here he becomes content with ropes to protect the body, with arms foot to maintain his stomach. Wherever he goes, he only takes this with him. And just the bow and the ropes, exactly like homeless people in the literal sense. Sister Billy, would you like to continue?
On seeing a form with the eye, he does not grasp at its signs and features. Since if he left the eye faculty unguarded, evil, unwholesome states of longing and dejection might invade him. He practices the way of its restraint. He guards the eye faculty. He undertakes the restraint of the eye faculty. On hearing a sound with the ear, on smelling an odor with the nose, on tasting a flavor with the tongue, on feeling a tactile object with the body, on cognizing a mental phenomenon with the mind, he does not grasp at its signs and features. Since if he left the mind faculty unguarded, evil, unwholesome states of longing and dejection might invade him. He practices the way of its restraint. He guards the mind faculty. He undertakes the restraint of the mind faculty. Possessing this noble restraint of the sense faculties, he experiences within himself an unsullied bliss.
Thanks, Sister Billy.
Thank you.
Footnotes number 11. He does not grasp as its signs and features. The signs, nimitta, are the prominent qualities of the object, which, when grasped unmindfully, can instigate defiled thoughts. The features, anubhyanjana, are the details that attract one's attention when one does not restrain the senses. Longing and dejection, abhijja domanassa, implies the opposed reactions of desire and aversion, attraction and repulsion toward sense objects. Okay, Sister Sakyam, would you like to continue?
16. He becomes one who acts with clear comprehension when going forward and returning, who acts with clear comprehension when looking ahead and looking away, who acts with clear comprehension when flexing and extending his limbs, who acts with clear comprehension when wearing his robes and carrying his outer robe and bowl, who acts with clear comprehension when eating, drinking, chewing, and tasting, who acts with clear comprehension when defecating and urinating, who act with clear comprehension when walking, standing, sitting, falling asleep, waking up, talking, and keeping silent.
Thanks, Sister Sakyam. So this, whatever you do, we have to act with clear comprehension. Be mindful whatever we do, extending our hand, flexing our limbs, and carrying the outer robe and bowl, and eating, drinking, chewing, tasting. Yeah, be aware of whatever we're doing. 17. Possessing this aggregate of noble moral discipline and this noble restraint of the faculties, and possessing this noble mindfulness and clear comprehension, he resorts to a secluded resting place, the forest, the root of a tree, a mountain, a ravine, a hillside cave, a charnel ground, a jungle thicket, an open space, a heap of straw. Say 2, 3. Okay, quite a long way to go. We will continue next time. Yeah, I think we can finish probably at most in 2 days. So let me highlight. We stop reading it here. Okay, any questions or comments? If not, would Sister Aikin like to do the dedication?
回向，回向愿消三障诸烦恼，愿得智慧真明了，不愿追障悉消除，世世常行菩萨道。
Thanks, Sister Aikin. Till we meet again, may we be guided by the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Have a terrific Thursday ahead. Thanks, everyone, and see you guys next time.